You know, he's
Are you saying
very...
Are you saying then that June Chiglia took over as acting Grand Master years ago?
No. As I said last year, the situation came into effect because Licio Gelli has now a cancer that is killing him, so he can't be physically anymore for him possible to maintain his position of leadership.
Okay, so it was only at that point that June Chiglia became Grand Master, is that correct?
Well, that took over his... I mean, the Grand Master, up until we go there, is still unclear. You know, it will have to be discussed amongst the members. The thing is that I have my position in the third level as Grand Master, and that means that I am the legitimate successor of Licio Gelli, because that's what the members in England, in France, and in Italy wanted. They wanted me to be the successor of Licio Gelli. I had the support of a lot of members to take over the structure.
Mm-hmm. But if you were the Grand Master of the Ordo Illuminorum Universalis back in 2006 when you wrote that document, weren't you then theoretically above Licio Gelli?
Because he was placing me already in that position of being above him, because I was his, I'm his creature who he has helped creating, you understand? Mm-hmm. So he's giving me all his powers slowly, one after the other. You know, the executive powers over the commission, the executive Masonic powers upon the commission, can only be granted if all the members agree that I had to take over that position. Now, I think that the main problem is with Francesco Murgia and Giorgio Ugo Balestrieri, because they didn't want me to take over that position.
Right. And so the Masonic Executive Committee, the Monte Carlo Executive Committee, that was overseeing the P2, wasn't it, up until recent times?
Yes.
And what? So that was just basically the controlling structure for the more sort of business side of things, and the Ordo Illuminorum Universalis is the more esoteric side of things. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, was any of that you were dealing with got to do with that whole Osiris thing that you were talking about?
But also because the Executive Masonic Committee deals with Masonic politics. Yeah. And Masonic politics is a very complicated issue, because you have the lodges that don't recognize each other, you have the different factions, you have the United Lodge of England against the Grand Orient, but all these factions are represented within the Executive Masonic Committee. Okay,
so they would have members of the various Scottish Rite Supreme Councils, etc., and various Grand Masters from various Grand Lodges would be members of the Monte Carlo.
They are members committee. Still now. That's how it works.
So that was the cohesive structure tying together all of these different rites and orders from Scottish Rite, York Rite, Memphis and Mizraim.
But prevalent we have in the Monte Carlo Lodge the Scottish Rite. That is the rite that prevails over all the other rites we practice in Monte Carlo.
So would these Grand Hierophants of Memphis and Mizraim, would they be members of the...
Because, you see, after we worked with Ezio Giunchiglia for 5 ulterior degrees up until the 38th degree, we have worked out 5 extra degrees, so that is very important. Those degrees are given in a certain context. To people that have already been bestowed upon them the supreme degree of 33.
So there's the Knights of St. John of the Apocalypse, correct?
The ultimate degree, yes.
Okay, and how would that compare with the Memphis Mizraim thing?
No, it's an internal degree system peculiar to the Scottish Rite practitioners that come to Monte Carlo.
Uh-huh. So as far as would it involve certain? Well, obviously it involves certain knowledge at different degrees. Was any of that comparative with other structures like Memphis Mizraim?
Well, what I can tell you is that in the Ordo Illuminorum Universalis we study in an eclectic way all the systems.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like
we parallel. We don't have any problems. If, for example, you have a high-level York Rite Mason as you say here in America, York Rite, which is what is practiced in England, the emulation, then all the rest on top of it. But I mean, if we are the high-level representative of York Rite Freemasonry, we will receive him at his level, you know, obviously parallel to our level in the Scottish Rite or the level in the Memphis and Mizraim. So obviously he will be received in an appropriate manner.
And were there the heads of like the various Rosicrucian orders or the Martinist orders or the OTO orders who were part of the Monte Carlo Executive Committee?
Yeah, but they are a minority. They are very few, and I'm going to kick them all out, so that's it, you know.
And the Memphis and Mizraim Grand Hierophants, were they part of that structure too?
Memphis and Mizraim, who are not connected with the OTO, they're, for me, stay in the structure, and they can work with me. It's not a problem.
Okay.
But,
so they've always been part of that structure?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you're talking here about the worldwide Grand Master of the Memphis and Mizraim, eh? The one that controls that booklet you had, the one who, one of the most important bodies of the Memphis and Mizraim in the world that... it's represented in the Monte Carlo Lodge, and actually also the other one. So all the Memphis and Mizraims, and actually even the Memphis on his own, are represented in Monte Carlo. That's why you have also the Duke of Gabinda, because he represents the Memphis, right?
He's the top of the Memphis, right?
Yes.
And who's the top of the Mizraim, right?
No, he has his own Memphis separated. It's a different thing, you know. It's not connected.
It's the third one.
Different lineage.
And what about the heads of the various Rosicrucian and Martinist orders? Were they part of the Monte Carlo?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Of the ORDO ILLUMINATORUM UNIVERSALIS at the highest level, yes.
And Temple of Set?
No. No, we didn't have Temple of Set because Michael Aquino never came to Monte Carlo. We were waiting for him. But he said he couldn't move from California, so we could never make the deal. Actually, my concept was to invite him to Monte Carlo and then bury him alive.
What about the likes of, like William Breeze or Roberto Negrini? Were they Monte Carlo members?
Roberto Negrini is Grand Prior. The Count Nicholas is a member of the Monte Carlo Lodge, and Roberto Negrini has been a member of the Universal Unity and has participated to meetings at the highest level of the Monte Carlo Lodge. And Roberto Negrini is a Satanist, so he's not welcome anymore. I mean, and so are not welcome any structure of that kind.
Was William Breeze in the past of the OTO?
Alberto Moscato is a representative in Italy, which is was one of the senior representatives of the OTO in Europe. Alberto Moscato died, unfortunately, 2 years ago, so it's difficult now to obtain information about who he was, but you can find still a few things on the internet about him. Mm-hmm. He was very active also as a Freemason. He was a 33-degree Scottish Rite Supreme Council accepted by the Grand Orient of Italy. Mm-hmm. He was a member of the Guardia di Finanza, and he was in direct contact working also with Massimo Introvigne. And he was a heck of a Satanist, definitely. But he was involved with Giorgio Ugo Balestrieri. That's one of the things I didn't like of Giorgio Ugo Balestrieri from the start.
So was the whole Monte Carlo and P2 thing, was that kind of like an offshoot of the Scottish Rite thing rather than Memphis and Mizraim?
The Monte Carlo thing is a supreme executive committee. We don't have a peculiar, we have all the systems included, from the rectified Scottish Rite to the ancient and accepted Memphis and Mizraim. We have them all.
Okay, yeah. But the actual P2, but at the bottom of the 3 levels, was that more of a Scottish Rite thing, or
Yeah.
It was, not rather than Memphis and Mizraim.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Can you just go into the Osiris religion thing at the top levels? Were you saying the last time that at the top levels of the some of these Masonic rites, it's essentially an Osirian religion, Osiris type religion?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, that is because, you see, at the beginning of